परम सुब्रतिकचर श्रोतरशत श्री श्रीमद Shla Avoy Chandravinda Bhaktivedanta Swamhara Shraupad ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki Jai Namachara Shahardas Thakur ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kundarat Kundagiri Govardhan ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Gaur Oh glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Oh glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Oh glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Oh glorious Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Oh glorious Shri Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Putari Shrimati Radha Swami Namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Putari Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shvachata Tarine Om Jnanatimirandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapinami Nabhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamavyam Dati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttara Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sadhajatam Sahagana Radhanatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Pejana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakanvitam Shak Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sudeli Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So today we continue our discussion on the qualities described by Lord Krishna in 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, verses 1 to 3. And today we will discuss Yagya. Yagya is one of his divine qualities, performance of Yagya, of course. And Lord Krishna explains in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Nahi kashti kshanamapi jatatishnatya karmakri karatyekhya vashakrama saraprakriti jaigunaya. That one cannot be inactive even for a moment. So all the time we do something. Even if one wants to be perfect jnani, still he has to breathe at least. If he lives only on prana, still he has to breathe. So to exist. So everyone does something. And then later on, in the 9th verse of the chapter, Krishna explains, Yagyartat karmano nyatra lokayan karma bandhana tadartam apikanta mukta sangak samachara. Every work should be performed for his pleasure. If it is not, it's the cause of our bondage. But if we do it for his pleasure, then we are free. Because we should understand that Jiva, or living entity, is the Tashta Shakti. It's impossible to be independent from some other Shakti. Either we are dependent on Krishna's internal energy, spiritual energy, or we are dependent on Krishna's external energy. We are identified with something external. So we are not independent. So we must embrace one type of living. It's not possible to be aloof from everything. Yes, it's not our nature. So either we live for Krishna's pleasure directly or indirectly. This indirectly means material nature, but this indirect connection with Krishna is the source of all suffering, and direct connection to Krishna is the source of all pleasure. This is the secret of all success, we can say. We just redirect our connection, redirect our action, and this is called actually sacrifice, as Krishna explains in this particular verse of the chapter. And the word sacrifice also in English, and I believe also in French, means to make something sacred. So we always do something. So sacrifice means to make this particular thing sacred. This is sacrifice, actually. Yes. And therefore, this should guide our action, our thoughts, our words, everything. Because even thoughts are also action. So they should be performed as a sacrifice to the Lord. Yes. This is extremely important to understand. Yes. Otherwise, we'll be helplessly bound to this material existence. And we may understand this in theory, but in practice, many times we misunderstand our life and our actions and so on. And this is expressed, of course, in our struggle for survival. We should understand this. Every endeavor for survival on a material platform that is separated from service to Krishna is not understanding our position, our relationship with Krishna. It's not understanding our life, and it's living for material existence, actually. Therefore, these simple teachings, so-called simple teachings of Lord Chaitanya, are extremely important. This Trinada, Pisa, Nichana, Taro, Rivasi, Amarina, Maya, yes, seems completely impractical to be more humble than a blade of grass, yes, and as tolerant as a tree. Yes, it seems not practical very much, but it's crucial for our spiritual life to adopt this type of consciousness. Therefore, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami says that we should thread this verse on the thread of the holy name and wear it constantly around our neck for constant remembrance. Yes. So, yagya. Although Prabhupada in his purport mentions that primarily yagya, and he meant classical yagya, fire yagya, is meant for grihastas. So grihastas should perform different functions, also social functions. But then later on he mentions that these yagas, which demand a lot of resources and money, of course, are not practical very much in modern world. But the most important is Sankirtan Yaga. And it's interesting that Krishna also explains in 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that Yagyanam Japa Yagyasmi. Amongst the yagas, I'm chanting of the holy names. Yes. So this is most important yaga. Krishna himself explains that this is he himself. So one should take it very seriously. Hare Krishna. One should take it very seriously, this type of yaga. Because as we just realized or stated, that yaga means, or sacrifice means to sacrifice something, to make something sacred. So when we, whatever we do actually, should be with this in mind, to create also the atmosphere sacred. So when we associate with other people, we should create sacred atmosphere. And also when we chant japa, we should create sacred atmosphere. And so these distractions, modern distractions, are not part of sacred environment. Like our mobile phone or anything like this. It's of course, if we use it for reading Shastra, it can be sacred and should be sacred. We should also make our use of the phone sacred. It should be also used as a sacrifice. Yes. Yes. So when we chant, we should try to consciously create sacred atmosphere, sacred environment. That means that we don't just jump into chanting of the holy names just to finish my rounds. I have no time to spend time with japa too much. So we should try to create sacred environment, to align our consciousness with our desired goal, because we should know that our sadhya, or our goal, is dependent on our sadhana. This is very important to understand. Therefore, this sambandha, videya, and prayojana, gyan, are so important. That we know what is my position. My position is to be a servant. Jivara Swarupa Hare Krishna Nitya Das. And we know this by heart. But we rarely know this in practice. We know to a certain degree, we know. Every devotee knows, yes, I'm a servant, and tries to serve. But this doesn't stop only within ashram maybe, but extends to every field of existence, because everything emanates from Krishna. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matak sarvam pravartate. Everything emanates from me. Yes. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matak sarvam pravartate. Iti matva vachante ma bhuta bhava samandita. So those who know this, they worship me with love and devotion. So we should know this, that everything emanates from Krishna, and therefore we worship him in everything. So even atheists emanate from Krishna. Yes. Everything emanates from Krishna. So we should serve also atheists, but not in the way they would like them to be served, of course. We should understand that when patient is crazy, the physician or the doctor doesn't cure such crazy person according to his whims, or the whims of the lunatic, crazy personality, but in the way that the patient could be cured as fast as possible. So this should be also our attitude with materialists. We should understand that everyone who is not a devotee is crazy. Yes, this is a fact. This is not a joke. This is a fact. Everyone is crazy. Because he identifies with something that he's not. This is the sign of craziness. So we should be cured ourselves that we don't identify with what we are not. With these social roles, I'm brahmachari, I'm grihastha, I'm sannyasi, I'm a woman, I'm a man. Jai Shri Shri Gauranga ki Jai, Jai Shri Shri Radha Parisisvara ki Jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra ki Jai. Yes. So, although these distinctions exist on material platform, and since we have these different types of bodies and different types of social positions and everything like this, we should respect this. And that doesn't mean that then we, under the excuse of being transcendental, that we are not this body and that these are only material designations, then we freely mix with the opposite sex or do any nonsense because I'm not this body. Yes, and I'm not this social role doesn't apply to me because I'm a transcendental personality. So I need not to care for my children and for my family. Yes, because if I have this idea, I'm not a father or a mother. So I need not to care. But we should understand, we are all put in certain bodies, we are all put in certain social roles with some purpose. Krishna put us there. We are not jnanis. Jnanis try to deny their existence, material existence, but they can never succeed. Ye nye ramidaksha vimukta maninas vayasta bhavata vishuddha buddha ayukra Krishna parampadam patantyato nadrata yushmatanga. Although these jnanis, they may become vimukta manina. That means that they think that they are liberated. Only in their mind they are liberated. Yes, vimukta manina. But they are avishuddha buddha. They have impure intelligence, and therefore they patantyado nadrita yushmatanga. They fall again on the gross material level. Yes, so we shouldn't behave like this. But although we behave according to our position, we should only as a sacrifice to the Lord, as our service to the Lord. Yes. So I should act as a perfect mother, I should act as a perfect father, I should act as perfect husband or wife, I should act as perfect brahmachari or sannyasi or vanaprastha, Not because I identify with this role, but because I know Krishna put me in this position for me just to serve. So my feelings are not so important. Yes, my feelings are hurt because this Prabhu said this to me. Or my husband is harsh, or my wife is harsh. And this is a very common situation in modern world. Yes. In Vedic times, people before getting married, they performed great tapasya, austerities, and then they got married, and they had normally happy family life. But now they try to enjoy as much as possible before they get married, and they perform tapasya after that. Hare Krishna. It's true. So yes. So we should understand that whatever is my position, and if it's pleasing to my body and mind or it is not, I should do it for the Lord's pleasure. And if I have such attitude in my life, then I can be perfectly peaceful and happy in any situation, even if my body is suffering. There was, yes, I believe you all know Bhakti Maharaj. At least you have heard about him. Very great personality. My Guru Maharaj spent last weeks with him, and usually they discuss some Krishna's pastimes, but one particular day my Guru Maharaj saw that Bhakti Maharaj is in great pain because he had this melanoma cancer, and it was very ferocious type of cancer, and he couldn't concentrate on Krishna katha very much. And then my Gurudev grabbed him by the hand and started to chant the holy name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And Bhakti Maharaj also, he chanted along with Maharaj. And then he became completely ecstatic. Tears were pouring out of his eyes, and his mouth became big in smiling. Although he was in physical pain, he was smiling like from one ear to another. And he was moving head from one side to another, and he said, "It cannot get any better than this." It cannot get any better than this. I would not exchange this position with anyone in this world. Although he was completely yes, in great suffering and invalid, without a leg, and in great pain. Once they tried just to move him to help him to clean and something. They broke his collarbone. He was so fragile. He was so fragile, so much in pain. But in such a condition, he was crying in ecstasy. Yes. So once Sridhar Maharaj, ISKCON Sridhar Maharaj, Jolly Swami, you may also heard about him, said that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. It's a very instructive thought. So, my point is, in whatever position I am, even if my body is suffering, my attitude should be that I'm put in such position in my life with some Krishna's purpose. Krishna had some purpose with me, and he put me in this position for my purification, for benefit of others also. So I should benefit others as much as possible. Therefore, Krishna says that, Lord Chaitanya says, that everyone should become a guru. Yare dekha tare katha Krishna upadesh. Hamara gyana guru khana tare desh. So everyone should become a guru. And one may think, how can I become a guru? I don't know anything. So we should know. We should study. We should hear. To rise above material consciousness. This is so important. To rise above material consciousness. Therefore, this constant hearing is important. Lord Chaitanya was asked, what is the most important practice of devotional service or aspect of devotional service? And he said, chanting of the holy names. But when Prabhupada was asked the same question, he said, hearing. Shravanam is the most important. But is this contradiction? Is Prabhupada speaking something else than Lord Chaitanya? No. How's not?
It goes together. Like, if you can hear properly, you can chant properly.
Yes, exactly. So if we hear attentively and enough, then we'll have a proper attitude in our chanting. So this is so important, that we hear and we understand properly philosophy, because this tattva gyan is very much lacking. I can see also amongst devotees. Yes. And if you don't have proper understanding of spiritual dimension of my life and of Krishna and so on, then our devotion will be sentimental or fanatical, but not spiritual. And this is very important to understand. Then we'll have, if it will be sentimental, we'll say, yes, Krishna is very merciful, and therefore it means that I don't have to be very strict in my sadhana. And if I'm fanatical, I blaspheme everyone. And I don't understand that I'm a servant of everyone. Yes. So this is very important to understand. To be a servant of everyone. This is our sacrifice. So every social role that we mentioned, every position that we have, that we are a man or a woman or a child or a grown up or old man, although this is nothing to do with our soul, but we are put in all these positions just to serve. Just to serve. There is no other reason to be in any position than to serve. Because this is our eternal position, to be a servant. So immediately, when we forget this, and we tend to forget this, then we suffer. Yes. Because there is only one Lord. Aham hi sarva yagyanam bhukta cha prabhulivacha. That Krishna explains in 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. I'm the enjoyer of all yagyas and austerities. Yes, of all yagyas. That means everything that we do. I'm the enjoyer. So I shouldn't do anything for my enjoyment, but I should do everything for Krishna's enjoyment. So, and every social role I mentioned is a sacrifice. So everyone should have a mission in his life. This is also very important. Because if we don't have a mission, we'll miss the point. Yes. And we'll be without enthusiasm. Yes. We'll be very much lazy. This laziness is the sign of lack of mission. Yes. Because if you have mission, you don't have time. Then the time is always lacking. Yes, I don't have time to achieve my mission in life. Yes. Therefore, this strong mission is lacking very often. And this is maybe a handicap of big society also. If you have plenty of disciples, for example, like this is the case also in our society, that gurus have a lot of disciples, they don't instruct their disciples individually to have one strong mission in their life. And this is very helpful. You can see the disciples that were engaged by Srila Prabhupada personally in some particular mission, they achieved miracles. Yes. They had extremely, they were extremely powerful because they were empowered. Yes. So one day Shyama came to Srila Prabhupada and said to him, I were thinking that it would be good to make the Beatles Hare Krishna. And the Beatles were gods in this time. I think they already stopped their performing because they were too famous, and no police were able to check the crowd. So they stopped public performances, and everyone worshipped them as gods. So no one could approach them actually, because they were protected as some kings. If you see these footages from 60s, it was crazy. Yes, people were screaming, especially ladies, screaming, crying, running over policemen. Policemen tried to create a wall, and they were holding hands, but they were just crushed by these ladies. Stampedo. Yes. So in these times, Shyama had this idea. It would be good to turn Beatles Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada said, I think it would be a good idea. And really, they went with this purpose. 3 families in London, and they had no money. And to enter England, a certain amount of money is needed, or was needed. They checked on the border if you have enough money. If you don't, you're denied entrance to England. So Prabhupada gave them some money, and then the first couple went to England and sent money to other couple. And then the second couple came with this money, and they sent money to the third couple. So all three couples came to England, and then they sent the money back to Prabhupada. And although Saraswati was already born at that time, they lived in some what's the name? For storage houses, in cardboard boxes and so on. With small child, can you imagine? And within a week or two, Shyamasundar met George Harrison. And he became interested in Krishna consciousness. And in a month or something, Prabhupada stayed in the house of John Lennon. It was miracles. How could anyone perform such a thing? Impossible. Yes. Impossible. Yes, so my point is that everyone should have a mission in life. And mission is according to our position. Yes. So if I have a child, my whole life is dedicated that this child will be Krishna conscious. Otherwise, I ruin his life of a child. I should understand this. This feeding the child, giving him clothing and so on, and education, this is all secondary. If it is there or not, no problem. Of course, we have to see that the child has something to eat. Otherwise, he cannot become Krishna conscious. But and that he wears some clothes and to be educated, especially in Krishna consciousness. But most important it is that the child is Krishna conscious. This should be our life mission. Yes. And in order for our children to be Krishna conscious, we have to become Krishna conscious. Yes. This is our sacrifice. So every ashram means sacrifice. Yes. So if you think that we'll escape society and go to the ashram and become brahmachari, we'll suffer. We'll definitely suffer. If this is not our sacrifice, if this is not our mission, we'll suffer. And will not be properly situated in our ashram. And if we live brahmachari ashram with the idea that I will join grihastha ashram because I don't want this my position here, I have to listen my superiors in ashram. I'll be my own lord. I will marry and I will enjoy. If I enter grihastha ashram with this attitude, I will also suffer. Terribly suffer. Yes. So my attitude when I enter grihastha ashram should be, this is a sacrifice. Again, this is a sacrifice. I sacrifice for my wife, I sacrifice for my children, and wife also has this idea. I sacrifice for my husband, I sacrifice for my children. My sacrifice and mission is that I'm Krishna conscious, and then my husband or my wife and my children are Krishna conscious. This is my mission, this is my sacrifice. So, yes, and I sacrifice my career for this purpose. I sacrifice everything for this purpose. Yes, because we can see there is much talk about in modern days about child protection, isn't it? Even different communities must have this child protection board. But it is a fact that children were never abused as much as they are in modern times. And this abuse is socially acceptable. No child protection team discusses this. Yes. And children, majority of children are deprived of their mothers. Yes, their mothers are going to work, and the home is empty. There is no mother at home. And home without a mother is like a crematorium. Yes, it's empty, cold place. No one cooks lunch for you. No one cares for you. There is no love. Yes. When my son, I believe many of you know him, Nitai Padakamala, was in secondary school. There was a principal of school, the director of the school, who wanted everyone to join his choir to sing. And he also wanted Nitai Padakamala to join his choir. But he said, I don't have time, I have to go home. I have lunch at home. But he said, but there is no one at home. But Nitai Padakamala said, yes, my mother is at home. And so, yes, this is extremely important that mother is at home. Because father has to work many times, even at the time when children came from school. But mother should be at home. But nowadays, children are deprived of their parents from extremely early age. They put them in these kindergartens, and I've heard, and you confirmed this, that here in France, the school is obligatory from the 3rd year.
Yeah.
It's complete craziness. It's complete craziness. And this is a child abuse, supported by the state. Yes. To take children at the age of 3 out of family, this is a child abuse. Yes. And a severe type of child abuse. And not breastfeeding a child is also child abuse. Yes, because modern type of idea is that both father and mother should care for an infant baby. And so they divide times. One should certain time care for the baby and feed him with these flasks. And so this is also child abuse. Yes. So especially mothers should care for small children. And if the discipline is not enforced, especially for sons, later on, when they're 5 and more, this is also child abuse. And this is the duty of the father to to enforce discipline at home. Yes, and of course everything should be directed to Krishna consciousness. That everyone should be Krishna conscious. I should be, but most important is that I'm Krishna conscious. Because if I am not Krishna conscious, then I cannot expect anyone to be Krishna conscious. Yes. So, foremost mission is to become Krishna conscious yourself, and then to help everyone else to become Krishna conscious. Yes. So this not go deep in our sadhana is sign of either fanaticism or sentimentalism. So we should take this sadhana, our sadhana is our only connection with Krishna, actually. There is no connection with Krishna when we are not on the transcendental platform, other than our sadhana. So we should take this sadhana extremely seriously. Extremely seriously. Yes. And not do it half-heartedly or thinking that it's something mechanical. Yes. That I can just move my lips and my business is done. No. We should connect. We should try to connect. Maybe we are not able to connect, but still, if we will not try, we will never be able to connect. It's impossible to just from thin air suddenly, as we say in Slovene, I don't know if it's such an expression in French, that suddenly the Holy Mary appears to you.
Yeah.
Do you have such an expression?
Yeah, kind of.
Yes. The Holy Mary will not appear to you just like this. Yes. So you have to try to connect. And if you try hard and with all your heart and with this humility and eagerness, then the time will come really that you will be able to connect. So we should read also these songs of our acharyas, like Bhakti Thakur, because I said that before chanting or before our sadhana, we should try to create this sacred space, this sacred atmosphere, that we can go deep in our desired mood. Because we try to develop consciousness, we try to develop love for Krishna. So there should be some sentiment, some mood, but not artificial. So we should try to connect with those who really are perfected beings, like our acharyas. And they have left us many wonderful poems, like Bhakti Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, and Rupa Goswami, and so on. So we can read them and try to go deep in their mood and their prayerful connection with Krishna. And then with the help of Acharya's mood, we can turn to Krishna in our chanting also. And in this way, it will be helpful to connect. Of course, we shouldn't do this reading during our chanting, but before our chanting. Otherwise, it will be a trick of mind. Yes, I have to connect, and then I read and chant. This is also not beneficial. Maybe I have to reconnect during my chanting. So I stop chanting and read again and pray to Krishna. Please help me. Please help me. I'm so distracted. My mind is going here and there, but only on you not. I can't think only of you. I think of everything else, but not of you. So please help me. I'm helpless. We should learn this. This is also tattva jnana, which is very much lacking. That I'm helpless. There is nothing I can do in all creation to connect with Krishna. with all my desire, with all my power, I cannot do. It's only Krishna's mercy. But if I don't do my part, everything that is in my power, to do everything, we cannot expect Krishna's mercy. These two fingers, that the rope that Mother Yashoda tried to bind Krishna, the rope was always 2 fingers too short. And these 2 fingers, one is our endeavor, and the other is Krishna's mercy. So without Krishna's mercy, we should understand this, because many times devotees don't understand this, that it's not in my ability to achieve Krishna. It's only Krishna's mercy. By Krishna's mercy is possible. But I will not achieve Krishna's mercy without my endeavor. Yes, because Krishna, it says in the 5th canto of Bhagavatam, Muktim dadati karhishit smana Bhakti Yoga. I give easily mukti, but not bhakti. Because bhakti has a power to bind him, to control him. And Krishna doesn't want to be just easily controlled. He wants that we really love him if we want to control him. So yes, therefore we should cry for his mercy. This crying doesn't mean crying with tears, but crying with our heart. Yes. So this is sacrifice. That we devote our life to Krishna, and especially our sadhana, that we take our sadhana extremely seriously, and that we always understand I'm a servant in any situation, and my service is to make others Krishna conscious. So even if Mother thinks, how can I be guru? Because we said that everyone should be a guru. But we should know, Mother is the first guru of a child. So it's her duty to chant the holy name with this attention, and especially when she's breastfeeding a child. Yes. Then this holy name will enter the heart of a child with the mother's milk. And it enters like this in a child, nothing can take it out. Yes, because he will connect chanting of the holy names with love, with nourishment, with his pleasant relationship with his mother. Yes. So this is extremely important, because I can hear many times, even in our society, mothers complain that they have no time for chanting. But there is plenty of time to chant when babies are small, because they eat a lot, and whenever they eat, mothers can chant. Yes. Yes, I have 3 children, and my wife always had time for chanting, 16 hours and more. Yes, because she was chanting when breastfeeding, and yes, they remember this chanting with very pleasant feelings. They were sitting in the lap of mother, and even when they didn't, they weren't breastfed, they were leaned their head on mother's chest and listening to Mahamantra. Yes, she was chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare. And they were leaning on the chest and listening to this nice vibration. And they will remember this for the whole their life. Yes. And they all chant more than 16 hours. So yes. So this is important. This should be our sacrifice. That we make other Krishna conscious. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Is there anything else?
Krishna Bhagavatam, for the class, very enlightening. You talk about having a mission.
Yes.
And specifically understand what is our individual mission. And in order to really understand it properly, should we ask our Gurudev directly, or he may come as well by reading scripture and like self-realization, or we really need a teacher to explain to us like what is my mission?
It's beneficial that we are told. For example, Guru Maharaj of my child take the privilege to adopt me in some way. His Holiness Kadamba Karana Maharaj. And he instructed me in such way. He said that I should go out and preach. And this helped me a lot, actually. That I received some instruction, personal instruction from a great soul, and I try to follow it, and it's beneficial for my consciousness. Of course, everyone should have certain mission according to his current position. So brahmacharis and vanaprasthas and sannyasis are meant to preach as much as possible. And especially brahmacharis should study also very much to acquire the ability to preach by study. Because if we don't know much, we can still preach, but we will lack in our understanding. Yes. So, according to our social role, as I just mentioned, everyone has his natural mission. But if we are instructed by our spiritual master or some superior personality, then we receive also special empowerment by this. And so it's very beneficial. So if you can ask your Guru Maharaj for this direction, to have some special mission, it would be helpful. But of course, it depends on your Guru Maharaj, and he will judge what is proper and what's not. Anything else? Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Pramanande.
Great. Bhagavad Dharma Prabhu.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
We will miss your divinely association, especially in the class.
What time you leave tomorrow? Morning, right?
Around 9 o'clock I have to.
So you will need some prashadam?
No, tomorrow is Ekadashi.
So you will...
I'm fasting. No need.
Easier.
Yes, easier.
Right.
We hope to get your association very soon again.
Hare Krishna.
If